Hey survivors, and welcome to this new interview I had the opportunity to make with Endnight Games. Before we start, I beg you to listen carefully to this intro, because this interview is an old one. What does it mean that this is an old interview? That this interview actually took place several months ago, between November and December 2023, so around 6 months ago. This doesn't mean that the interview is completely useless, nor it is wasted. Why is so? Because of two principal factors. It was a very difficult period. Endnight was preparing for the full release, so they were very busy, and I was pretty busy with my first ever college exam session. The first thing that really led me to not publish this interview was because of scheduling conflicts, and because I had no times, as well as Endnight. The second factor is directly linked with this one. Because of Endnight being busy with the full release, which is completely understandable, less than half of the questions that I've done was answered. This interview was a bit messy. I decided to make a new interview with 30 questions. Some baked by me, some cooked by the Discord servers, and also from the Reddit community. I tried to get all the feedbacks. I've done several posts about it, I've talked to so many people, and so I was able to make 30 questions that I delivered to Endnight. But because of them being busy with the 1.0 release, only 10 of them were answered. But I can understand, I understood. If I now had the opportunity to go back in time, I will definitely publish this interview immediately, without thinking twice. But I cannot go back in time. And by the time, because of only 10 questions were answered, because I was so busy with my college, because Endnight didn't have the time to answer all the questions, I decided to let it go. I decided to let it fall apart. Otherwise, this doesn't mean that I never released it. It was half released on Discord server, maybe not the official one, I think only Simulcells one, in which I shared all the questions and the answered by Endnight Games. It only wasn't released here on YouTube. So guys, enjoy this interview, this old interview. Some questions maybe about the 1.0 that we already know. Some of them are about the early stages of Sons of the Forest development, which are also very cool, and some other things that are some little curiosities that maybe you would like to know. Now, enjoy the interview. Sons of the Forest was a huge success, and sold over 2 million copies in just 24 hours. How did you feel about it, and did you expect it? We were really surprised. The first game sold around 1 million copies in its entire first year. Yeah, surely Sons of the Forest was a huge success. Let's hope this doesn't end now, and that something huge is cooking. Are you reading all the players' feedback and suggestions, and how these improved or changed the game, not only in terms of balance and performance, but also of building and enemies? We try and read all the comments and feedback and implement what makes the most sense. Which is cool, I guess. Will we ever be able to hug Kelvin and Virginia? Maybe kiss her? Yeah, don't take me as a simp, huh? In early builds, it was possible to hug Virginia. However, it will lock the player in place and felt annoying, so we took it out. A system like that may come back in the future if we can figure out a good way to do it. In Sons of the Forest Trailer 2, there are many buildings that are not in the game and seem to not be correct for the revolutionary building system you introduced. Was this incredible system with visually building animations already planned since the beginning of development, or you started with a different idea, closer to the forest? From the start, we wanted to do a new building system, but it did take a lot of iteration and time to get it working well enough to be able to construct complex structures. Well, yes, I do appreciate a lot the Sons of the Forest building system, and I still think that those structures in Trailer 2 were only some blueprints. Well, I will not explain it to myself how it was possible with the actual system of building. Why did you decide to release Sons of the Forest with the entire story complete, or almost, since many boss fights were added later, despite it being in early access, rather than waiting and blocking the ending, just like in the Forest? We thought getting feedback from players on the story was important, and we'll be implementing changes based on this feedback for the 1.0 release, including more voice acting and expanding Tim's role in the story. I've always thought that the 1.0 release was a very big story update, and don't get me wrong, I loved it. I only wanted something more. And as you all know, the story is not so appreciated by the fans. Not right now, even though I like it. Can we please have more songs to play with the guitar? That will be cool. Gabe Castro, the composer for Sons of the Forest and the Forest, will love to add more. Yes, please, I do hope so. Too bad in 1.0 we didn't get any. Why did you decide to go with a mono wheel, the Knight 5, instead of a mountain bike or something similar? We thought it would be fun and something that we hadn't seen in a game before. Yeah, I remember when they added it, it was so surprisingly, so stunning. Yeah, still hated the ragdoll thing when you just crash on a tree. I hate it. A love and hate relationship with this mono wheel. When you developed the Forest, was already in your plans the idea of dimensional switches and to go with a less human and more extra-dimensional story in its sequel? We've always been interested in ideas like that, and with the sequel wanted to explore where the artifacts in the first game may have originated. Yeah, surely they finally gave the origins. They finally explained the origins of these artifacts, the Golden City. Yeah, there are some few things that are yet to be expanded, just like the Son of Light, but I like it. I gotta say that the story of Sons of the Forest is messy, but it's incredible. Well, at least in the theory. Do you think The Forest Part 3 is possible? Right now, we're just focused on Sons of the Forest. Yeah, but I do think that The Forest 3 is real. Lastly, is there something you would like to tell to all your friends, supporters and players? We just want to say thank to everyone who has taken the time to play either The Forest or Sons of the Forest, and to everyone who streams or makes videos of the game. Well guys, this was the last question. As you see, only 10 of the 30 questions that I've done were answered. And by the way, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and consider subscribing, follow me on all the social media, especially on our Reddit community and Discord server, on Instagram and Facebook. And always remember guys, to survive the forest.